telling the other guy, listen, do this. At least get the ball started from.
Right.
I want you to see the technique. I want you to go home and go, why are my arms so sore? Because I'm pushing him instead of escaping him, putting my knee up.
Right.
And you remember to put your knee up and little things like that.
You just get a lot more personal attention. At least I do.
Yeah, man, it's a good little class.
Oh, it's great.
Let's
I'm
start
ready.
this
Let's do it.
Fucking shit. It's October, 26th. Halloween week, trick or treat, motherfuckers.
This show is brought to you by Club W. What is Club W? Club W is the best way to get wine. It's a brand new club, and when you go to Club W, you fill out a questionnaire on their site, and they send you 3 bottles, or as many bottles as you want, of great wine that's unique to them. They are the only people you're going to get their wine from. Go to clubw.com/Joey right now to get 50% off of your first order. That's right. Club W is offering our listeners 50% off of your first order when you go to clubw.com/Joey. So stop wasting time and money and messing around at retail stores and start drinking wine that you know you're going to love. Just go to clubw.com/Joey. Show is brought to you by Onnit.com. Go to Onnit.com and use code word church to get 10% off all the great optimization products. Go to naileditlife.com and use code word Joey Diaz to get 20% off the premier vapor pen on the market. And they are also the makers of Los Gumis Hermanos if you live in California. And go to hitecigs.com. Better tasting, longer lasting. The proof is in the vape. They have e-cigarettes and e-cigars for you.
Oh, shit. Kick that, Lee. Kick that horse. Oh, shit. What? Monday, October 26th. We're going old school tonight, motherfuckers. Are you fucking kidding me or what? Couple of fucking Gorilla Biscuits, couple bumps of some Toots Roots, a couple of fucking Long Island iced teas. You're jumping up and down to this motherfucker here. What? Oh shit. Keep it this motherfucker going, Lee, right here. When I was a senior in fucking high school, this was the jam, Lee. That's how old this jam is. Kick it up, Lee. Hip. The church or what's happening now, you bad motherfuckers. Calming. What's the story there,
Did you go to, like, school dances to this? Or I can't even imagine you going to a school dance, but...
No. When I was a senior, January was when, we would always go out in Jersey to different places. But when I was a senior, that January was when we first started drifting over into the city after the bars would close.
Jesus.
So 3 a.m. the New Jersey bars would close, and we would drift into the city. And in those days, it was like, Studio 54 was the mecca. Trust me, I was not going to Studio 54. I wouldn't even. They wouldn't even let a guy like me stand on line in Studio 54.
Oh wow!
So we would go to the lower end ones, the whatever club where it was like $12 all you could drink. We went to the church a couple of times, which never impressed me. That Limelight.
So did you? Because you've talked about before how they used to have paper licenses. Did you even use those, or was it just they let you in, or like? Cause that...
Yeah, no, they would proof you. They would.
Okay.
Listen, man. As in those days, as long as they were covered, that's all they gave a fuck about. Now they scrutinize you. They'll take the ID from you and call 911 and call the cops.
Yeah, they scan it.
You're getting $12.50 an hour. Who gives a fuck? Give the kid the ID. What? You didn't try to sneak into a club, but these dudes take their jobs too fucking seriously.
Yeah.
And for $10 an hour, you're gonna scrutinize some kid. Just give the kid the ID and go, listen, kid, don't come back down here, and don't bullshit me. But now they pull people out of lines and call 911. Is it really worth the aggravation? 30 years ago, as long as they were covered. Hey, man, he showed me an ID. Let me see the ID you showed him. This ain't you. Okay, what am I, Houdini? I don't fucking know. I'm getting $10 an hour. What do I give a fuck?
Right. I mean,
you
that's...
follow me?
Yeah.
It's the same fucking principle.
And did you know, because when I was going to high school it got around
Right.
that a certain Chinese place wouldn't go.
Right.
Yeah.
This is the same thing. Certain clubs
Okay.
will let you in. End of the school year, more and more, once a month, twice a month. But we would, Johnny Bananas, and we go to like, I forget the rooftop, and and do like a grammar blow and meet other fucking morons and do a grammar blow with them, and then that's it. I once I saw that, I couldn't go back to just going to bars anymore. Like once I saw that type of, and I wasn't a big New York City nightlife guy.
I was gonna say you don't seem like a club guy.
No. The only way you could drag me to those things is if we're doing coke.
Okay.
I was half in the fucking bag, and you had Quaaludes, and I cut into an 8-ball with you guys, and 4 of us were going into the city. If 3 people are gonna leave with the 8-ball you chipped in on, you might as well go. The only reason I would go, and I can't lie to you, I had a good time. I'm not gonna sit here and tell you I had a miserable time. Was it my type of lifestyle? No, I couldn't go out every night. It's funny because on the way here, I drove my wife's car tonight, and I was listening to Studio 54 on Sirius.
Okay.
And it was a couple that they were interviewing, and they were talking about raising 2 children. He was a dentist, and she was something, and they raised 2 children, and they went to Studio 54 4 nights a week, and they would tuck the kid in. The mother would come over and stay on the couch, and they would be home in time to make breakfast for the kids at 6 in the morning. Then he would take a nap and go to his dental office. He would make all the appointments for lunchtime. And he was talking about like hanging out with Truman Capote and Liza Minnelli, and just that was fucking crazy. And I did go to Studio 54 one time, but in 1983.
And it was already done?
That was done. I went there with like a friend of mine that knew somebody. And
well, what do you think as like a relatively new parent when you hear someone's going to Studio 54 every night?
As what? As me to judge somebody?
Well, I don't like what when you're hearing that. Like, are you saying that's awesome? They shouldn't do that. Like, it just seems like it's kind of like it's crazy.
Listen, man, if you're dropping your kid off at some foreigner's fucking house to take care of your child while you go out and jump up and down and snort blow, I think that's fucked up. But I can't judge you. But on the other hand, if my mom comes over and stays with the kids, and I got everything covered.
Yeah.
I saw my mom live a fucking hard life. That's why she died at 48. But I saw my mom live a bar life and try to take care of a kid and balance it. Terry and I were talking about it tonight. I was watching the Chinese Connection last night.
Oh, yeah?
Mercy was in the tub, and I did the Periscope. I saw when I was in Florida, somebody had tweeted me that Bruce Lee was on all fucking weekend on El Rey. So I didn't have El Rey down there in fucking Florida at the hotel. So last night I remembered, and I put the Chinese Connection on, which they call Fist of Fury. It got released as Fist of Fury, but we changed it to the Chinese Connection.
And it's all the same?
It's all the same.
Okay.
So that's my all-time favorite. That's when his teacher dies, and he avenges his teacher. That's the one I put on Rogan. That's
right.
My all-time favorite Bruce Lee movies. He's basically Kersey, Paul Kersey.
Oh, right.
He's Paul Kersey in that movie. He's going to find out who killed his teacher. He does not believe that the teacher died of a pneumonia. And he plays that role. What I tried to explain that day on the Joe Rogan podcast was how intense he came on the scene, Bruce Lee. Like, you see what Ronda Rousey's doing now?
Right.
With the internet and everything. He was bigger without the internet. With nothing. So when I came, one day I'm at my friend's house.
Right.
These cousins I play with, Al Coelho, and he was older than me, and their aunts and their mom and my mom. And every Sunday night, the show used to come on, The Green Hornet. And at the end, some Chinese guy would bitch slap the fuck out of everybody, and every kid in the house would lose their fucking mind, okay? and start throwing kicks and back, and the parents have to come and control yourselves, you know. And then the combat was on, a Rap Patrol, one of those shows, which a lot of you youngsters would never even understand. A lot of I shouldn't say youngsters. This is an old show, Rap Patrol. It's about this fucking open up with this Jeep in the desert. And
so at this point, how many stations were there, do you think?
3.
3? Okay.
There was ABC, NBC, and CBS. There was some Spanish stations, but you had to have a hanger behind your TV with aluminum foil and shit. You know, there was no cable, no nothing.
So do you think he would have been as popular now?
Who?
Bruce Lee.
Oh, my God. If he was popular with 3 channels. So 3 channels. Okay, so all of a sudden one day, I don't know what the fuck the show is. I know the show's called The Green Hornet. It's a Chinese fucking dude. That at the end, he just karate chops everybody.
Okay.
And one day he disappears, and I get involved in a thing called life. Okay? He gets taken off the air in 68 or 69, which puts me at 5 or 6.
Wow.
You know, I'm involved in this thing called life. When you're 4 and you want to kick, and they're telling you can't kick, but you see a fucking Chinese dude on TV kicking people on Sunday fucking nights, you lose your fucking mind, okay?
Right.
So then this fucking Chinese guy disappears. All right? And I went on with my life. I got into baseball, disco, Sticky Charlie. I got into all that shit on 148th Street. And then one day, he reappears in this fucking movie of him flying through the air. And I'm looking at this guy and I'm going, I know this fucking guy. And then talking to the kids on the street, they're like, yeah, that's the motherfucking Green Hornet.
Oh.
So the first movie was originally called The Big Boss, which they switched to Fist of Fury, which is him. He goes back to work in an ice factory. His mother sends him to fucking some planet, and he gets there and he hooks up with the fucking cousin, and the cousin gets him a job at an ice factory. And then the fucking it's 18 fucking Chinese people in the apartment, and 2 cousins don't come back.
And all of these movies are in Chinese.
Chinese with English subtitles, but at the time, they had already put English.
Dubbing. Okay.
Dubbing. So that's Fist of Fury, and then he fucking fights the boss, and so at the end he beats the boss. So that's why it's called The Big Boss.
Okay.
All right. So then I caught the tail end of that. I'm not gonna lie to anybody and tell you I saw that in the movie theater. I don't even know how you movie.
I think didn't it come on? I've heard it just came on TV at a certain point.
Like you had to wait or something. Excuse me. And then something miraculously happened. I was watching Happy Days.
Okay.
Yeah, right. It was the first season of fucking Happy Days. I think. I could double check with you guys.
I'll look it up.
Look it up. It was the first season of Happy Days. Happy Days, I think, used to come on ABC on Tuesday nights. All right. This is what I'm thinking here. I'm thinking.
Okay.
Go ahead. Look it up.
But what am I looking up? Happy Days and Bruce Lee?
Look up Bruce Lee Chinese Connection release date.
Okay.
It's going to say 71 or 72. Right?
It was released November 7th of 72.
Okay, so now look up Happy Days TV series.
'74 to '84, so 2 years after.
It was.
Unless you caught it at like a
No. We were
movie
watching
theater.
something else. We were watching a different type of show that Tuesday. It was like a Tuesday night on TV. And what you did at Catholic school, at Sacred Heart School for Boys, was you got out of school at 2, and then you went to study hall from 2 to 3:30, and then at 3:30 you went to the dormitory. You changed, and you played from 4 to 6. At 6 you went in for dinner. At 6:30 you went back to your room and did homework for a half hour.
What time do you think it was on
That?
Tuesday?
I don't remember. I don't fucking know.
Because starting at 8, it's Temperature Rising, and then ABC Movie of the Week starting at 8:30.
That's fucking crazy.
And then Maude, Hawaii Five-0.
How ABC? That's CBS.
Yeah, that's
Maude
CBS.
is
And then
Hawaii
NBC was
Five-0.
Bonanza, The Bold Ones, and NBC Reports.
Wow. Yeah, 2 TV shows, a fucking Tuesday night movie of the fucking week, and there used to be a Sunday night fucking movie of the week.
And then there was the ABC movie went from 8:30 until when it ended, and then
11
the
o'clock.
CBS started at 9:30. So there was 2 movies. So you maybe start on one of those.
Well, no. What I'm saying is, it was a commercial or something that was on.
Okay.
And we were kids. We had to watch TV at night.
Right.
And all of a sudden, that trailer for Chinese Connection came on. And I am in a dormitory with The bottom line. 30 fucking kids between the ages of 8 and 9. Like, we were in a dormitory with third and fourth grades.
And they're all boys, right?
And all of us are boys. Third graders on one side, fourth graders on the other side.
You were talking about it this morning with John Budd, who's doing some younger kid karate classes now. You're like, when they're that age, all you want to do is fight. I did that from the age I can remember. I did taekwondo, karate, wrestling. I did all that.
So now, it's mediocre. Martial arts at that time, at this country, was dead. And all of a sudden, we're all watching TV, and Lee, out of nowhere, this Chinese guy starts beating people up. And he takes nunchucks out, and then everybody's jaw drops. And I remember when it said, coming Friday. Like, everybody was like, we're going. And everybody started yelling, and the nun's like, you gotta stop. You gotta stop. Nobody's gonna go nowhere if you don't stop talking. Like, every kid's head blew up. And after that, it was all over. Once the Chinese Connection hit in 72, it was like Ronda Rousey. It was like fucking Ronda Rousey. Everybody was dressing up with Bruce Lee shit. Everybody had those Chinese shoes on. Who wasn't going to fucking China? Who didn't meet Bruce Lee in California? Who did, it was Bruce Lee. It was fucking Bruce Lee.
Immediately,
like months. He was into fucking national, because those were considered like spaghetti westerns for Clint Eastwood. He had to go back to Hong Kong to make those and eat shit and make those again. But those made him a star. Last night I watched the ending of the Chinese Connection, which I had tears in my eyes at the end. I forgot how good it was. And my hat's off to Robert Rodriguez. My hat's off. Hats fucking off to that dude. Because I read somewhere, see, I knew about The Weeknd, but I knew about it through Twitter about 2 weeks ago. And I read somewhere that he was doing it all weekend, and he had obtained the rights to show the whole movie without the cuts. So it was the way the director intended it for you to see it. Like, I watched Return of the Dragon, there was nudity. I never saw nudity. You follow me? There was nudity. In the Chinese Connection, there's nudity. When they're at the whatever, ugly fucking Chinese women with little titties are like Japanese women. They got ugly pussies and shit.
It's always so disappointing as a kid.
Yeah, like, well, yeah, you want to see big tits. Like, chick's got nice tits, but she had a fucked up face. And, when you're 10, you don't want to see that. You want to see a fucking model. You don't want to see Hong Kong fucking Fooey. So it was just, what really fucked me up about last night, that fucked me up a couple weeks ago, because I'm trying to write this book. So I'm trying to write an intro, and I was thinking of something. What really fucked me up? And you know what really fucked me up, Lee? When I got left back. I never realized it till I wrote this fucking thing. How much it fucked me up, because it really made me insecure, and it really made me have to prove myself. But it really made me have to prove myself to me, which is the weirdest thing I could say. I had been out of Catholic school 2 years. The deal, and I was telling Terry this, and Terry's like, you got to be shitting me. When I got out of the Catholic school in the 5th grade and went to North Bergen to McKinley in the 6th,
right,
my mom didn't wake up in the mornings anymore. There was cereal, there was eggs, there was bacon, there was toast and butter, there was sodas, there was juice, there was milk, and there was money. You do what the fuck you want. By that time, my mom didn't wake up for breakfast no more.
Was she mad that you left Catholic school, or you were just old enough?
No. My mom felt I was old enough
to make breakfast.
2 eggs, 2 pieces of bacon, wash your dishes. If you're really fucking hungry, you'll make breakfast. And guess what, Lee? It taught me how to make 2 eggs.
Yeah.
And then a friend of mine taught me how to make a cheese omelet with American cheese, and that was it after that. I never fucking made an egg again. I made cheese omelets. 2 eggs with a little milk, pepper, salt, and I'd fucking make an omelet. But that wasn't the only thing. Like, she was like, if you want to wear those pants, I do laundry twice a week. But if you want to wear those pants, you got to do your own laundry. You follow me?
Like, if you wanted to wear them more than one day a week?
Yeah, like my mom's like, if you want those, if you wore those Wednesday and you want to wear those Friday, it's not going to happen, because I'm not doing laundry till Sunday. So my mom did laundry like Sundays and Tuesdays, or Saturdays and Tuesdays. So she was like, it's not going to happen. You want the fucking pants that bad? You wash them. So guess what, Lee? I learned how to wash my own pants.
Did you have that in the house, or did you have to go to a...
No, I had to wash and dry right in the house.
Wow.
And we had the line outside, the whole fucking thing. We're Spanish people, dog. We put a line outside. So By that time, that was the treatment I had. Like, you're old enough to take care of this shit. I'm not going to wake you up for school. I'm not going to wake you up for school. And there was a couple times I was late, and she was fucking furious.
Right.
Fucking furious. You know, she didn't believe in that shit at all. But then something happened, Lee. I got left back. So the rope she had given me backfired, but I couldn't tell her. I couldn't eat fucking shit. There was no way. There was no way I was going to eat shit from my mom. There was no way. It was the roughest shit to eat. She knew how to shovel it, dog. She gave me that rope and I fucked up. That means I wouldn't ever get that freedom again. So I hid it from her. So guess what I had to do? I had to step my game up. I had to step my game up to cover everything. So I had to fucking get A's plus. So there would be no misunderstanding. So ever since that time, I became I was always a good student without even thinking about it. Just sitting in class and listening.
Yeah.
If you can't get a B sitting in class listening, taking little notes for 45 minutes, you deserve to fucking be a fucking mutter or something.
That's pretty crazy, though. Do you think, like, what do you think your life would have been if you had told your mom you got left back? Like, that seems like a turning point. Like,
Well, here's the other thing. I was thinking about this also last night. You know, I'm watching this fucking Bruce Lee movie. First off, I went to Fort Lauderdale this week and I saw some kids I grew up with. And one of the kids I always see that I didn't see this time, his name is Serbilio Pino. Me and Serbilio go back to fucking Sacred Heart. That's third to fifth grade.
Jesus.
Okay, his dad owned a refrigeration repair service.
Okay.
And he was friends with my mom and my stepdad, and he did he's Cuban dude. So Serbilio was his son. So me and Serbilio hung out. A kid named Mikey and a kid Supito. After Bruce Lee came out, us four were inseparable because Supito and Mikey, both their parents were both superintendents of a building,
right?
Which means they had access to a basement. So we would go to their basements and dress up with karate guys and beat the fuck out of each other and do forms and hang bags and fucking iron palm techniques.
You always have the hookup. All through life, you have a friend who does this.
Two of the kids. Can you believe that?
How does that even happen?
Two of the fucking kids, their parents ran buildings. So we had access to basements.
You had a fight club.
We had like a little fucking
eight-year-old
fight club. But we didn't beat each other up like that. I can't. No, we didn't. There was accidents. You know, people got kicked through a wall or something. From time to time, you get aggressive. You know, and, you know, it happens. You don't mean, these are your fucking Goombas. You're not there to hurt them.
Did you pick up the nunchucks at that point?
We did everything. Everybody walked around with lumps on their head because when you first learn the nunchucks, you miss sometimes and you clock yourself.
You miss all the time.
All the time. You fuck your elbow up. You fuck the back of your head up. You fuck, right here. Oh my God, you clock yourself in the jaw.
That's why I gave up on
the
him.
Back of the elbow and the fucking back of the. I don't know how many people walking around half retarded because they had nunchucks there. They fucking bounce them off the head. But he created such an impact. But I was thinking about Serbilio Pino. This is the saddest thing. I told my wife this. Was sitting there last night. She says, "What's the matter?" And I go, "I'm watching this. And I got to be fucking honest with you. It says 1972, right? You read 1972. That clocked me at 9. 9. And again, it's 1972, ladies and gentlemen. So I want you to close your eyes for a second and think of how different life was and how slower it was. And yes, there was perverts. And yes, there was fucking gay people trying to get their dick sucked. And there was everything. Not to the magnitude there is today. But my mom would let me walk. How far is it from Blockbuster on Lancashire? Do you know what it used to be a Blockbuster? This Jersey Mike's now?
Right.
How far do you think of this from Jersey Mike's to Denny's on Lancashire?
At least a couple miles.
2 miles?
You would think, because it's like a few main streets. It's like 4 or 5 big blocks.
My mom used to let me walk from 29th and Bergen Line Avenue to 48th and Bergen Line Avenue, which is about 1.5 miles.
Yeah, Jesus.
With 4 kids to catch the 10:30 Chinese Connection. So in those days, I would come home on Thursday afternoons from Catholic school, My mom would go, what are you doing tonight? You going to stay home? Hell no, I'm going to the bar with you. Really? You going to come spend time with mommy? Hell no. I'm going to come down there and hang out with you till 9, and then I'm going to go to El Cinema and see what movie's playing down there. And I would walk to the 10 o'clock film with Supito, Mike, and fucking this Pino.
I did the same thing, but I was like 16 or 17. Like, you did this at 9 going to a 10 o'clock movie?
And
Wow.
walking home at 12:15. 12:15, 4 fucking 9-year-olds. Walking home like jerk-offs, throwing kicks in the air, punches, telling stories about fights that were never going to happen. 4 fucking jerk-offs.
What is that area like? Is it a lot?
At that time, it was
industrial, or is it like woods?
No. At that time, 29th and Bergen Line was the street. You know how Broadway in New York City is the street?
Right.
And Bergen Line starts from Kennedy, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry, people. From 90th Street in North Bergen, and it goes all the way down to fucking Hoboken, I think. All the way down to 1st Street in
So
Union
there's like
City.
restaurants and businesses.
It starts with a
Okay.
park, and then but you pass Dunkin' Donuts, and you pass McDonald's, and then it's very white for a couple blocks. Once you get to West New York, it becomes Spanish. Once you get to 52nd Street, that's where that poultry store, Marglizano, is, where you go in the chickens and shit. Then from there down, from 48th Street down, it's Cuban. It's Cuban all the way down to fucking, in those days, to like 16th Street. Then it was Italian. Pino's Pizzeria. Now I'm lying to you. Like 20th Street, it became Italian.
Are there like other groups of your friends walking home? Because like when groups would walk home, there'd be like groups.
No. In these days, there were people on the streets, but not to the magnitude that you'd expect.
No, but I'm saying, did you see like any other kids from your class at those things?
Fuck no. Fuck no. Once in a while, yeah. Like I went to see The Longest Yard with John Bender in the afternoon. I went to see, Tommy in the afternoon. There was a lot of movies I went to in the afternoon. There was a lot of movies I went to the 8 o'clock. I remember going to see Enter the Dragon with my stepfather for the 8 o'clock. But when I was at the bar on a Friday or Saturday night, I had 2 fucking options. I could sit at the bar and play pool, shuffleboard, music, play the congas, shake people down for money. After all that's done, it's still fucking 11 o'clock. I got 4 hours to burn in that motherfucker. 4 hours.
Jeez.
Listening to Spanish music, listening to arguments, watching my mom fucking dance. My stepdad come in, he's pissed off. The ice machine's broken. There was always some drama. So I would say, fuck it. A movie? What, are you fucking kidding me? Or training at Supito's? Fuck yeah, I brought my gi with me. I'll come down over there and we'll beat each other up till midnight. And my mom would go, how are you getting back? I'm walking. No, I don't want you walking. Call me and I'll send a cab over there for you. So sometimes I get a cab home.
Okay.
But when I was with those kids, we fucking walked. What cab? We walked.
I mean, do you wish you had more structure?
I don't know.
I'm pretty much the example of the opposite
I
of that.
am blown away by the rope that I had. And
Yeah.
it didn't really hit me till last night that I was watching that movie going, this came out in 71 or 72. That clocks me at 8 or fucking 9. You mean I was walking from 29th Street to 48th Street on a fucking every Friday and Saturday to watch movies? Dog, I was a movie kid. I went to the fucking movies as much as I could. Every movie that I could go watch. And every martial art movie that came out, I went and watched 2 or 3 fucking times.
Like, was this a thing you did almost every Friday with your friends? That's crazy. I loved going to the movies.
I loved
with my
it.
friends.
Who doesn't? That's how you learned everything. That's how you learned culture, what the fuck was going on. People were I don't know. For me, it was an escape. I was sitting there last night at that movie, watching that fucking movie last night, thinking how, as it got to the end, how I remembered, like, fuck, I'm going to have to go. After I walk home with my friends and do this, I don't know what I'm walking into. Like by 72, 73 at the bar, I never knew what I was walking into.
So you'd go back to the bar?
Well, no. I'd walk over the bridge and go to a discotheque. Yeah, I'd
like,
fucking go to a bar. I'd
where
go
was your
back to
house?
my mother's bar. My house in those days was in New York City.
Oh.
That's why I had to wait there till 3.
So that's why New Jersey was nothing. You were walking around New York City.
Yeah, that's why. I had to be there till 3 because we lived in New York till I was 10.
Oh.
So you follow me? My mom would tell me, once you're in Jersey, there ain't no coming back. There ain't no 9:30. I'm tired. So there was a rule. Once I went to Jersey, I was in till 3 a.m. with them. I didn't leave the bar till 3:20, 3:30. And by the time we got home, 10 to 4, fuck it. And then we'd go home. My mom would cook something. We'd talk shit. And I'd go to fucking bed in those days. This is when I lived in New York City.
That's crazy.
That is crazy.
I mean, I grew up. My mom was strict. My dad he worked in nightclubs, so he was out till 2 or 3 in the morning a lot. But he was home during the day. And my mom was super strict. My dad was super strict. And it just... The little kid in me is a little bit jealous. Like, I would have loved to do that. I also grew up in a town that didn't have some of that stuff, but I would have loved to be able to walk to the movies. But then, hearing all the crazy stuff you go through, maybe it wasn't. Like, I don't know. I don't know if it was good or bad.
Okay, what's the closest movie to my house? Lancashire and fucking...
Magnolia, whatever that is.
Over there, right?
Yeah.
What you're trying to ask me is, if when Mercy's 10, would I let her walk over there from where I live?
Well, that's...
Not in a million fucking years.
You don't... I was going to say yes. You don't think so? Because that's super close.
I would love to tell you that I let her walk that. I don't know. I just don't know.
Because
I don't trust Dick anymore.
You can't.
I don't trust Dick anymore.
It's scary. But I remember...
You go to a fucking parade, you get hit by a car. This weekend, that fat little fucking chick, and the boyfriend saying that she didn't do drugs. I don't know what really went down.
I can't watch those videos anymore.
Nah, you turn the news on expecting a fucking sunny day, and you see a story about some lady going into some state fair in Oklahoma or some shit. You didn't see it? Something
I don't look at the news
happened
anymore, man,
sometimes.
because it's too sad.
That's why I walk my wife and the baby to school on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays when I'm in town. I walk them and I pick them up.
Like if you're...
I hate all those streets.
Oh, yeah.
Hate them with all my heart. I hate all those streets over there.
And she's only getting bigger, Mercy.
Well, so she's going to get more money for her. You know, they could get fucking $2,000 in Mexico for her. She's 3 or 4. She's beautiful. She's got blonde hair. They get $10,000 for her and shit. You know, these fucking people are animals. That's how you have to think.
Yeah.
That's how you. And I tell my wife, I tell everybody, you know, I don't know how you allow this in this society. I couldn't.
But then what happens when she's 18?
I got fucking major league problems because if you come to me, not you being you, Lee.
Right.
But I'm talking about if Joe Parent comes to me and says, hey, man, I'm going to a fucking Dodger game. Do you mind if your daughter comes with my daughter to the game? I'm in a fucking pickle. I'm in a fucking pickle.
Why?
Because, you know, I just don't know, Lee. I just don't fucking know.
But then what happens when Mercy turns 18, she goes to NYU or wherever she goes to college, and if she's been guarded her whole life, maybe she'll walk in Harlem and get mugged, and she won't have, like, the street smarts part of it.
I know. That's the other end. That's the other end.
I did stuff like that with other parents, but I think my mom probably wouldn't have let me do it with certain parents. So I think you'll probably, like right now, you probably have certain kids, moms, and dads that you don't like.
Man, let me tell you something. I'm going to tell you right out. I don't have Mercy in the car as much as I should because I smoke reefer. And I know this going in. If I'm straight, then I'll put Mercy in the car and I'll drive. But if I'm not completely straight, I'll let my wife drive.
Yeah.
And I do this with my child. So I can never... What if, Lee, your child comes over to my house?
Right.
In the process of him coming over, my other friend comes over and we smoke a bowl while we're talking shit. Now I got to drive your kid back. You understand me? I wouldn't do it. I'll Uber that fucking child over there with my wife and Uber her back before I get in the car with your child high. That's how I think. What I do on my own terms is what the fuck I do. What I do with Mercy, she's 3. If Mercy's 18, I look her in the face and go, hey, I just ate 600 fucking milligrams of Death Stars. You want to take a ride to fucking Valencia with me? You follow what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Only you, because you're a lunatic, would do 100 on the way back from San Diego with me. When I'm with Mercy in the car, I drive completely different.
Really?
When I'm with Terry in the car, I gotta drive completely different.
You don't drive like that with Terry?
Half and half, but not with Mercy in the fucking car.
Oh, it's an experience with you, but it's I don't. There was one.
You're scared for your child. I don't know how your parents do it.
But there was one guy, one father at my high school who everyone knew was drunk all the time. So like I wouldn't get in the car with him. There was like I've heard stories of him like driving over medians and stuff like that. So it happens, but you have to. Yeah. I mean, I don't know how people send their kids to school now. I honestly don't. And all that's really scary. And I used to not make fun of, but when my mom was sad that I was leaving for college, I was like, yeah, why are you so sad? Like, it's great. And now it's crazy to think how much they rely on you and how like you're in charge of a life. It freaks me out.
First you went to college, which was how far from your home?
45 minutes. That was close.
And you stayed at home. Or you lived in the dorm.
I lived in the city.
So you moved out early. You paid your own
I moved
rent,
out.
all that shit. You took loans.
Yeah,
you got a job in the movie theater business.
The only summer I spend at home, the last time I lived with my mom was summer after freshman year. I went home to work, and since then I haven't lived at home. And for the past 5 years, I've lived 3,000 miles away, which is crazy.
And then you left and came out here.
Yeah.
Were they upset?
No.
Where was Dicky Syatt?
He was down in Florida already. He was down in Florida when I was in college. But they were never upset. I'm sure my mom misses me. I know she does, but she understands. Sometimes I do feel guilty that, like, why am I out here? Like, she had, not surgery, but she had a couple things done the other day. And I was like, oh, I should be there to drive her. But it's, she understands, I think.
Your father's an interesting cat.
Yes, he is.
I really learned a lot from that 2 or 3 hours I spent with him. He's a funny dude. You're a lucky dude to still have him around.
Yes, I am. Thank God.
It's funny. I was sitting there with him, and now I understand what you're saying. Like there's some things that you can't have your dad around when you're doing. Do you know what I'm saying? Like they just don't feel right.
Yeah.
Like
it's weird.
I don't mind smoking a joint if my kid's around or something, but there's just some stuff like even like hitting on somebody when your dad's around would be weird, or if he hit on somebody.
It just happened to me, actually, and he's gonna hear this now. But he called me the day after I had a porn director on my podcast, and I talked about how I used to know where his porn was. And he called me and was like, he told me a story that he was on a show once and told a story about losing his virginity, and his parents called him. And he was telling me this, and I wanted to crawl out of my own skin that he had heard that I used to watch his porn. And I just had to, like, change the subject. It was the worst. And I mean, at this point, like, you're going to run into it with Mercy. At some point, there's thousands of hours of this. So it's kind of hard to be embarrassed now.
I don't watch porn.
Well, not porn, but...
She's not going to find my fucking stash because I don't have a stash.
Yeah, but then you also...
I don't have one dirty magazine at the house.
Well, you don't have to now, but one day she might log onto your computer.
I have nothing dirty on there.
You don't go to YouPorn?
I have the YouPorn.
Yeah, that's all they need.
I don't know when the last time I clicked onto YouPorn. It pops up, it goes away, it comes back, the fucking computer.
It just shows up and then you use it?
No, I don't. It's not that I used it. It's not that I put it. Ari told me fucking 10 years ago. They were talking about porn. When I used to go on the road with those guys,
right, I
knew nothing. Do you not understand? I knew nothing. They would talk about downloading, and I would just make believe like, I don't know what's going on.
You're doing a ton of downloading? You're like, oh yeah, I download all the time.
They wouldn't talk to me about that shit. They knew better.
I'm uploading, I'm downloading.
They would talk about downloading and how, what's it like in your hotel room? Is your computer coming in? And they would sit around like 3 jerk-offs, him, Duncan, and Brian, and Joe, and I don't know, something's buffering, whatever the fuck it is. And I would sit there like, I don't know what these guys are talking about. I wouldn't even think of bringing a computer with me on the road.
Right.
Wouldn't even think. It wasn't like a computer on the road. I didn't want a fucking computer in my house.
So you never, like, You don't have to use porn to masturbate, jack off, I guess?
No.
Really?
They would talk about all this disgust and videos, and then at night we would get high and go to somebody's room, and they would show me all this stuff. That's how I learned about little things.
Yeah.
Then they showed me MySpace, and they showed me. Well, I had a Hotmail, but I lost the code years ago. I still got the same Hotmail.
I feel like you had it on a piece of paper in your wallet. It's like when someone teaches their grandmother about the internet.
I had that Hotmail account since 1997. Houston, Texas, Stacy Pocaluto, who I spoke to